Welcome back to your go-to channel for rare coins, numismatic stories, and hidden treasures in your pocket change. Today, we're diving deep into the USA 1-cent coin from 1976, a small copper coin with big history. So grab your coin collection, and let's uncover its true value in circulation today. The year 1976 was a landmark year in the United States. It marked the country's bicentennial, celebrating 200 years of independence. While most people focus on the special bicentennial quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins, the humble 1-cent Lincoln Memorial cent quietly remained unchanged, but still played a crucial role in everyday transactions. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909, features the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln by sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, from 1959 to 2008, it showed the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo in 1976. The U.S. Mint produced over 8 billion 1-cent coins. That's right, billion with AB. The 1976 Lincoln cents were struck in two major locations: Philadelphia Mint ***, no mint mark. Denver Mint ***, marked with a D. Below the date, here's the breakdown of mintage numbers: Philadelphia, over 4.6 billion coins; Denver, over 4.2 billion coins. With so many produced, you might think this coin is worthless today. But there's more to the story. Let's talk metal. The 1976 1-cent coin is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. That's different from modern pennies, which are mostly zinc with a copper coating. That higher copper content gives these older coins a bit more value, even just in metal weight. Obverse, Lincoln facing right; reverse, Lincoln Memorial, with the tiny image of the seated Lincoln visible inside the columns, a detail many people overlook. Now, let's get to what you really came for. The value of a 1976 1-cent coin in circulated condition. In everyday circulated condition, the coin is generally worth 1 cent. But wait. Because of its copper content, many collectors and metal scrappers consider these older pre-1982 cents to be worth about 2 to 3 cents in copper melt value, especially when copper prices are high. However, it's illegal to melt U.S. pennies for their metal. So, this adds theoretical value, not spendable profit. At least for now. If you have a clean, sharp-looking coin, even in circulated condition, it might be worth slightly more to a collector. But if it's scratched, dirty, or corroded, it likely holds only its face value. Still want to search your change? Look for these mint errors: ***, a 1976 cent with a double die, off-center strike, or die crack could be worth $10 to $50 or more depending on severity. Uncirculated condition, MS65 or better, ***. These can sell for $1 to $10, especially with a nice red luster. Proof versions ***, not released for circulation, but if you happen to have one from a collector's set, it could be worth $2 to $5 depending on condition. In rare cases, a 1976 cent in top mint state red condition, MS67 or higher, has sold for over $100 at auctions. Here are some cool facts you probably didn't know. The Lincoln cent is the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. Even though 1976 had bicentennial versions of other coins, the penny stayed the same. It was a year of celebration, but also continuity. Some collectors are building full Lincoln Memorial cent sets, every date and mint mark, and 1976 is a key piece of that puzzle. So, is the 1976 1-cent coin going to make you rich? Probably not. But it's a fun, historical, copper-rich piece of American coinage history that's worth keeping, especially in great condition or with errors. Do you have a 1984 Lincoln cent in your pocket change? Well, don't overlook it just yet. In this video, we're diving into the history, features, and circulated value of the 1984 USA 1-cent coin. Let's find out if this little copper coin could be worth more than just 1 cent. The 1984 Lincoln cent is part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial cent series, which was introduced in 1959 and minted until 2008. This series replaced the original wheat penny design from 1909. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, with the date 1984 and the motto, "In God We Trust." The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. Did you know? If you look closely at the back of the coin, you can see a tiny figure of Lincoln seated in the memorial, making it one of the few U.S. coins to feature the same person on both sides. The 1984 Lincoln cent was struck in two primary locations, Philadelphia and Denver. No mint mark equals Philadelphia, D mint mark equals Denver in total. The U.S. Mint produced over 14.1 billion Lincoln cents in 1984, over 8.1 billion from Philadelphia, around 6 billion from Denver. That makes the 1984 cent one of the most heavily produced pennies of the 1980s. One of the most talked about varieties of the 1984 penny is the 1984 doubled die obverse. In this rare variety, Lincoln's earlobe appears doubled, a result of a die error during minting. These coins are highly sought after by collectors. If you think you have a 1984 penny with a doubled earlobe, check it under magnification. If verified, it could be worth anywhere from $25 to over $250, depending on condition. Now, let's talk about what most of us want to know, the value. In circulated condition, a regular 1984 Lincoln cent without errors is generally worth 1 cent, as it's still common in circulation. But wait, there's a catch. If your coin is in exceptional condition, with minimal wear and strong details, it might fetch 5 to 20 cents from a collector looking for a sharp example. High-grade uncirculated examples, MS 65 or higher, *** can sell for $1 to $5, especially if they're red in color and have full luster. The 1984 cent is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, a change that began in 1982 due to the rising cost of copper. While it looks like a copper penny, its metal melt value is less than a cent, making it worth more for collectors than for scrap. When checking your 1984 pennies, here's what to look for: a doubled earlobe, possible double die, sharp edges and strong luster. For uncirculated condition, no scratches or discoloration. Full details in Lincoln's coat and the Memorial Building. Keep your eye out. Sometimes, a coin from your loose change could surprise you. So there you have it. The 1984 Lincoln cent might not be rare, but if you find the right variety or condition, it can definitely be worth more than face value. So dig through that change jar. You never know what treasures are hiding there. The 1984 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, is part of a long-standing American coin series that pays tribute to the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. This design was first introduced in 1959, replacing the Lincoln wheat cent that had been in circulation since 1909, the year marking Lincoln's 100th birthday. The obverse, or front side, of the coin features the classic right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, which was originally used in 1909. This design has remained on the cent for over a century, making it the longest-running portrait on any circulating U.S. coin. The reverse side, from 1959 to 2008, showcases the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely, you'll notice that Lincoln is visible inside the memorial, a rare instance of the same person being shown on both sides of a U.S. coin. By 1984, the Lincoln cent was already a familiar sight in the hands of Americans. However, something important had changed just 2 years earlier, in 1982, the coin's composition. Due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint switched from a solid copper alloy to a copper-plated zinc composition. This change carried over to the 1984 coins, which were mostly made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. That means even though the coin looks coppery, it's mostly zinc inside. The 1984 Lincoln cent was produced in enormous quantities. Over 14 billion coins were minted between the Philadelphia and Denver mints, making it one of the most common coins of the decade. But what makes the 1984 cent especially interesting to collectors is the double die obverse variety, where Lincoln's earlobe appears doubled due to a minting error. This has made certain 1984 pennies highly collectible and more valuable than their face value. And summary, the 1984 1-cent coin isn't just another penny. It reflects a historical shift in U.S. coinage composition and continues to capture the attention of collectors due to unique mint errors. Today, we're diving deep into the history, features, and value of the 1961 United States 1-cent coin, better known as the 1961 Lincoln cent. It's a coin you might still find tucked away in an old jar or passed down from a grandparent, but is it actually worth anything today? Let's find out. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, first introduced to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. But in 1961, the design hadn't changed much since the 1959 redesign. That's when the Lincoln Memorial replaced the original wheat ears on the reverse. In 1961, the U.S. Mint continued producing Lincoln cents in 2 locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while Denver coins carry a small D mint mark below the date. Back then, coins weren't made of zinc-plated steel or just copper-plated metal like today. The 1961 Lincoln cent is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that rich, reddish-brown tone. Each coin weighs about 3.11 grams. Today's pennies are lighter and made mostly of zinc, which makes the older cents, especially the pre-1982 ones, more desirable to collectors and scrap metal buyers. Let's talk numbers. In 1961, over 1.7 billion Lincoln cents were minted. That includes more than 753 million from Philadelphia and a whopping 1.75 billion from Denver. With mintage figures this high, most 1961 pennies aren't rare, but that doesn't mean they're worthless. There are certain conditions and varieties that can fetch more than face value, so how much is a circulated 1961 penny worth today? Let's break it down. In average circulated condition, a 1961 Lincoln cent is worth around 2 to 5 cents, mostly because of its copper content. If you have a roll of them, that's already a small bonus over face value. However, if your coin is in better condition, like extremely fine, XF, or about uncirculated, AU, the value can climb to around 10 to 25 cents, and if you're lucky enough to find a mint state coin, especially one graded MS65 or higher, you're looking at a value of $1 to $10 or more depending on market demand. Now here's where it gets exciting: era coins and special varieties. One of the more sought-after varieties is the 1961 double die obverse. These have doubling visible on the date and lettering. If confirmed, they can sell for $50 to even hundreds of dollars, depending on condition. Also keep an eye out for off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or coins with repunched mint marks. These errors can make your common penny significantly more valuable. Here are some quick tips if you're planning to collect or sell 1961 pennies. Use a magnifier *** to check for errors like doubling or repunched mint marks. Weigh the coin *** to confirm it's the correct 3.11 grams. A different weight might mean it's fake or an error. Don't clean the coin. ***, cleaning lowers collector value. Use grading guides *** or submit to PCGS or NGC if you believe the coin is high grade or rare. So, is the 1961 Lincoln cent worth a fortune? Probably not in circulated condition, but with the right error, mint state grade, or just a bunch of them saved up, they definitely hold collector and metal value above face. Whether you're a new collector or a long-time coin hunter, this little 1-cent piece from 1961 is a fun and historic coin to keep your eye on. Let's go back in time and uncover the history behind the 1961 Lincoln cent, a coin that may look ordinary, but carries over 60 years of American legacy in the palm of your hand. The Lincoln cent was first issued in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner, to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, a big shift in American coinage design philosophy. But the 1961 version features a slightly updated reverse.
Why?
Because just 2 years earlier, in 1959, the U.S. Mint changed the reverse design from the wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birth anniversary. This new reverse design, created by Frank Gasparo, shows the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C. And if you look closely with a magnifier, you can actually see a tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the monument, a very cool detail most people miss. 1961 was the beginning of a new decade. John F. Kennedy had just become president. The Cold War was heating up, and coins like this Lincoln cent were being used daily across America, to buy newspapers, candy, even payphones. Minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, the 1961 Lincoln cent reflects a time when copper was still the dominant metal in pennies. These coins weren't just pocket change, they were part of the everyday life and economy of millions of Americans. The obverse, or front, of the coin still features Abraham Lincoln's bust, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1961. If there's a small D under the date, that means it was minted in Denver. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and the denomination 1 cent. Overall, the 1961 Lincoln cent is a beautiful piece of mid-century American coinage, simple in design, but rich in history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1961 Lincoln cent, smash that like button, subscribe, and comment below if you found any valuable pennies lately. Thanks for watching, where every coin has a story.